Hi, it's Charles Matthews out here again in my favorite place, out in the dells around Willow Lake, just a skip from my house, just 5 minutes away, and yet I don't spend enough time down here, and I question my choice making sometimes about that. But I want to talk right now about men and the challenge we're up against. I want to talk about how men in particular can survive and thrive and be of great use as things get more chaotic, more divided in our country and in our climate and in our economy. But let's go up there first, shall we? Yeah. So here we are in one of my favorite nooks near the top of the dells above the lake. It's a little windy. I'm hoping this little mini canyon will help protect from too much wind sounds. Thanks for coming up here with me. Again, I want to talk about strength and vulnerability, especially for men, especially at this time. I'm guessing that almost everybody is feeling some form of anxiety, some form of vulnerability, some form of fear around COVID, around economic crisis, around climate change, around economic inequality, around the demographic changes in this country. And men in particular can make a big difference in how this country moves forward. How so? How so? Men, particularly white men, have been trained that when we feel vulnerable, that's not okay. When we feel scared, that's not okay. We need to cover that up, right? We need to hide that from the people around us, hide it even from our best friends, hide it from our wives. And what that hiding does, what that armoring up does, is makes us more vulnerable to the appeal of strongmen, of conspiracy theories, of all kinds of ways to feel falsely strong, to feel falsely in control. You got a whole other thing about how that alliance building doesn't really work. So to men out there, those of you who are feeling some concern about whether or not your job is going to be steady, whether or not you're going to be able to keep hiring employees to help them take care of their families, to nonprofit leaders out there who are wondering where the funds are going to come through as the needs go through the roof. Listen to that vulnerability. Listen to that fear. Listen to that anxiety. And rather than armoring up and then either taking it out on other people with misplaced anger or frustration, rather than falling for conspiracy theories and the false hopes of strongmen, notice that vulnerability, notice that fear, and notice that it is an opening to solidarity. Okay? Strong men versus solidarity is what we're talking about. And I stole this from Anand Hadadas. He's a brilliant lecturer and speaker about economic inequality. Men in particular, because we channel our vulnerability into the wrong places, because we armor up over it and cover it up, we are more susceptible to creating more problems when things get hard. But it's the 21st century. Men are a lot smarter than that now. Men are much more in connection with their emotions now, and we can turn towards solidarity. And solidarity means align ourselves with other people who are struggling, and aligning ourselves with other people who have been vulnerable in the past and who continue to be more vulnerable. Together, we can make a big difference. Together, we can get through these crises with some semblance of humanity, equality, beauty, and justice. If instead we do the typical man thing and armor up and pretend that we're okay and pretend that everything else is okay, we're not going to be able to be in solidarity with those folks. We're going to be more susceptible to, frankly, fascism, strongman tactics, conspiracy theories. So let's take that vulnerability, let's take that fear, notice it, take it as a signal to be in solidarity. And we can make a big difference. I believe in us, brothers. I really do. I believe in the men out there. Thanks for listening.